Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another Topic Tuesday. Today's topic is, what are your favorite polishes that you've gotten this year? And so I have picked out 10 polishes that I have acquired this year, whether they were like a gift or purchased or made or whatever. And these are the top 10 polishes that I have gotten into my collection in 2022 so far. The fact that I had to narrow it down to 10 was a little bit overwhelming because 10 polishes is just a small percentage of what I have acquired this year so far, which I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you the number. It's higher than I thought it was. But these are, what is it? It's June 11th as I'm filming this. So as of June 11th, these are the top 10 polishes that I am the most hype about receiving this year. These aren't ranked in any particular order, and the way that I chose these was I thought about what are polishes that I bought this year, and whatever popped into my head first, I was like, those gotta be, they're at the forefront of my mind. They're the ones I think about more often than others, and so some of them are a little bit more recent. I think that's kind of just personal bias, when you get something new, it's still more fun in your brain. But some of these came from the beginning of the year as well, and they were all acquired in 2022, but they weren't all necessarily from 2022 collection. Some of them might be just a little bit older, but that's, the prompt didn't say they had to be made this year. So the first polish on my list, I'm sure if you've watched my channel even once this year, it will come of no surprise, and that is Envy Lacquer's Grandpa's Garden. This came out in the March polish pickup, and both the concept of this polish and the polish itself really stole my heart. If you watched that shop with me, you know that was like an instant add to wish list. I was just, and still am, so into it, and I'm glad it got brought back for the polish pickup rewind, so more people had the chance to pick that one up. Ever since I was a kid, my granddad had always been out in the yard with my granny, helping her with her garden, with the yard, doing all the yard work, making sure the grass was perfect, blah, blah, blah. And, me and my siblings, we'd be playing outside while they raked and all that. And it's like a fond memory. And they don't have an extensive yard or garden anymore, but, they still love the flowers and things like that. And so it was just like a really happy kind of nice polish for me to have. And it's so pretty. Like, the execution of this is spectacular. It's this green reflective glitter, and I know I harp on reflective glitters, but this one was like the exception to the rule. And then it has these beautiful, like, kind of color shifting flakes, and it just looks like a yard just dotted with these beautiful flowers. Except that yard is made out of Swarovski crystals, okay? Like, it's so reflective, so shiny, so pretty, and the concept on the nail, I feel like if I showed this to somebody and did not tell them what they were looking at, they would be able to liken it to a yard full of flowers as well. If you picked this up in the rewind, I hope you love it, because I don't know, like, this is probably, if I had to rank my top 10 polishes of all time, which feels like an impossible and insurmountable task, but if I had to, this would be on that list for sure. I can say that with certainty. The next polish on my list is another one that I got from a polish pickup, and this was from April's polish pickup, which was like Periodic Table, I believe, and this one is called Stolen Flame. This is from Wildflower Lacquer. This is my first and still my only Wildflower lacquer, but it did completely sell me on the brand because, when there's so much hype surrounding anything, not just like a nail polish brand, but a show, like a book, just any type of thing in this world, I have a tendency to be very hesitant about it. I'm like, well, is this just kind of like mass hysteria? Like, is everybody just loving it because it's popular, or is it actually good? And, some stuff that's popular is actually good. And then some stuff that's popular, I'm sure it's actually good. I'm just not interested in it. Like, it just doesn't tickle my fancy, I guess. But this brand, I was worried. I'm like, am I going to invest a lot of money putting in an order to Wildflower Lacquer, and then it's just going to be kind of like so-so for me? And no, absolutely not. It was amazing. The color, first of all, like, I love this color. It's kind of I think it's got a blue base, but like the flakies in it are like a blue leaning to purple. And it is completely loaded with flakies. And when you get a polish that is like overloaded with flakies, there is a concern like, oh, it's not going to lay flat on my nail. It's going to be really chunky. It's going to be hard to paint down or goopy or something like that. I did not experience that issue at all. This was pretty much like a one coat coverage considering how much flakies are in there, even though I did a thin coat. And still there was almost no texture at all when I used a regular top coat. I didn't have to use glitter grabber or anything. The flakies laid down so perfectly flat. And of course it looks beautiful matte, which I love in a flaky, so. And then of course, number 3, I feel like this is cheating because this is like my polish, but I went and I met up with Happy Hillary's Nails from Instagram, and she has kind of like not fully launched, but is like starting to mix up her own polishes under like Happy Hillary's polish. And so she invited me over to mix up my own Hillary polish, because if you've been with this channel since the early days, I think I went on a rant pretty early on about like brands like Zoya and Julep and things like that, where they name polishes after just people, like they use people's names. They never use my name. My name is never used. Even when I was a kid and you go to the souvenir shop and you get the personalized thing, I always had to get the custom one because nobody had like a Hillary. They had like Harriet, which I feel like nobody's naming their kids Harriet anymore. If your name is Harriet, I'm sorry, maybe they are. But I feel like my name is not so uncommon, I guess. But then again, I've only met like a handful of Hillarys in my life, and I've only met one that spells it the same way as me, so maybe my name is weird. I really just think that a certain Hillary made this name fall out of favor. That's not my fault. I should be the new rising star Hillary, okay? So, I don't know. But we mixed up like a swampy green with this pinky purple shimmer running through it, and I love it. It was a really fun experience too. Mixing your own nail polish was something that I was never sure I would be really super interested in, because I feel like I'm not super creative when it comes to that kind of stuff. But the process is really enjoyable, and it just does feel a little bit cathartic. You get to mix a bunch of junk together, and hopefully it turns out. So love this, and there are only 3 bottles in existence. Okay, number 4 is the Raising Cane's polish called Glossy and Saucy. There's just something so funny to me about going to your job for like 8 hours a day, sometimes more, and you're working this job just to get money, to live your life and to be able to enjoy that life, and you hate your job and you're doing it anyways because how are you going to survive without this job? And then you take that hard-earned money that you earned at that job that you hate, and you spend it on a nail polish that looks like a condiment. There's just something so funny about that to me. I don't know why. I think it's like my love of hideous things. You know, it's just like the idea of paying money for something so ugly makes me so happy. I don't know why. And I'm not even being sarcastic. Like it brings a true level of joy to my heart that I think is really abnormal, and I need help with that. Like, I can't tell if it's like post-irony or just the wires in my brain no longer function correctly, but I love this condiment nail polish. It looks so gross on your nails, and I feel like that's what makes it such a vital part of my collection. But the funny thing is, I have never been to a Raising Cane's. Like, I don't even know where one is. I don't think that they're in Michigan. So, I don't know. Maybe if I see one, I will definitely go and eat some of their chicken tenders, because I do love chicken tenders. The bottom says, novelty item, product is not edible. So if you get this, don't eat it. Then we have a China Glaze. This is Arctic Confetti. Now, I know I'm not a big white polish wearer, but this one, it reminds me of Pop-Tarts, and I love Pop-Tarts, and I love Dippin' Dots. Like, this collab was the first one in a long time in this year that I felt like genuinely, truly excited about, because I just feel like the beginning of the year, I don't think it was just me. I think a lot of people were just feeling a little bit burnt out or uninterested. And I feel like this particular collection really pulled me out of that funk. And there's something, even though I don't really like white polish that much, with all the colors running through it, it just really makes it exciting and fun. And I think they really nailed the inspiration with the Dippin' Dots. That whole collection was really cool. And I do have a review of that up top if you're interested. I did see that Beyond Polish just got the collection, and if you are interested in picking any of that up, I do have a code with Beyond Polish. It's mediocre, and you can save 10% off your whole order. Oh my God, okay. Last food nail polish. I swear, I didn't know that I put so many food-related polishes on my list, but then again, I shouldn't be surprised. This is the Nails Inc. La Dolce Velveeta polish, and it's scented. It's scented like Velveeta. It's a little bit sweeter, I feel, than Velveeta, but you still get that hint of cheese on your nails there. Now this is probably the plainest color on my list because this is on my list for the gimmick, for the collab more than anything, but I just, if you saw my video, you saw how excited I was, how hyped up I was for this collab. I had so many people sending it to me. It was perfect for me. I know a lot of people were like, who is that for? It was for me. They made it for me. They knew. But yeah, I won't go on too extensively about this because I've talked about this one a lot. I'm annoying myself about it at this point. So I will just link that review in the cards if you're interested. Okay, and then I have another polish pickup polish, and this is the last polish pickup polish on my list. This was from May, and this is Great Lakes Lacquer Kitch-iti-kipi, and I have been wanting to try this brand for quite a while because it is a Michigan brand. I want to try more Michigan brands just because, I don't know, I want to support the Michigan people, I guess. There's just something cool about being like, oh, we're from the same state. And then I saw it was like the National Parks and Landmarks polish pickup, and Kitch-iti-kipi is a place in Michigan, and so I thought, well, what better than to try a Michigan brand with a Michigan-themed polish? And so I did grab this one, and this is a polish that just completely exceeds all expectations in the greatest way. Like, I ordered this because I wanted it, because I was interested in it. It wasn't like a whim purchase. I was like, oh, I like that one, and I am deliberately buying it. And then I got it, and it was like 4 million times better than I had even initially expected. It is so vibrant and blue and just radiant on your nails. And I just, like, the shimmer that they used in this, it's perfect. I can't even describe it in words. And this has made me so excited because they're going to be at the expo, which I'll already be back, I think, by the time you guys see this. But I hope to purchase quite a lot from their table because this has definitely sold me on their brand. Here's one that kind of came out of left field for me, and that is Loud Lacquer's Sybil. And you're probably like, Hillary, that's very, very plain. And yeah, it does look pretty plain. I literally only got this because Loud was having a big sale, and one of their bundles was crazy cheap. And so I picked it up because a couple colors in there I was interested in, and this was just kind of an extra, and I thought, it's fine. It's like I'm barely paying anything for it. Funnily enough, I liked this more than anything else in the bundle. I just decided I was doing swatches, and I'm like, I'll swatch that one last. And I swatched it, and I was like, okay, no, wait, I want to keep this one on. So I painted the rest of my fingers too. It is this really beautiful, kind of sheer, soft baby pink. And what I didn't realize until the light hit it was that it has a kind of bluey purple, kind of this color, this Wildflower lacquer color shimmer running through the polish. And that with that really light pink, it makes it so pretty when the light catches it. Easily became one of my favorite softer shades that I know I will go back to time and time again, especially when I have like more professional settings that I need to be in, or I have to, tone it down a little bit. I can still kind of sneak this in with that fun little shimmer, and nobody will really be any of the wiser, because even when you do see it, it still looks nice. It's not like bam in your face, but it is apparent. You get what I'm saying? Okay, this is probably the most unique polish I have on my list, and this is Bone by Death Valley Nails. And the reason I picked this up was because I saw Abe Nail Babe was swatching some of their new polishes from this line that's called the Dust to Dust line, and it uses natural pigments from the world around us, basically. And I had never really seen that line before. I'd peeked at their website, but I'd never really looked too hard. It was a brand that intrigued me, but I hadn't really super looked into. But then when I saw those swatches, there was real flowers in the polish, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I went to the website and I started reading about this particular line of polishes. Super intrigued. I've never seen anything like that. I thought it was really, really cool. And then I saw this one, Bone. I ended up buying two, but Bone was the one I really wanted because it uses bone and it like ground up. And I guess like the kind of like more morbid and like gothier, I guess, side of me was really, really intrigued. I like weird stuff like this. And so I ended up picking it up. It looks really strange on the nail alone, which is how I have it, but in a really cool way. But if you layered this over a like solid cream, I think it would probably look kind of like a speckled polish. I've not tried it yet because I just really like the concept of wearing it on its own. I just really, really like the concept of this whole line, and I'm looking forward to picking up more, especially some of those with the flowers in them. They look really dainty, really cute. So yeah, but this one, it's obviously not for everybody. Not everybody's going to want like blatant animal matter on their body, I suppose. But for me, I thought it was very cool. And the name, you know, Dust to Dust for the line of the polishes, I really liked that. I thought it was very cool. And last but not least, we have Cirque's Catalina. This is one that Beyond Polish actually sent to me when I was doing my Color of the Year video. And I still constantly think about this polish. I know like Color of the Year seems to be popular for maybe the first month or 2 months of the year, and then people just kind of are like, whatever, all right, we're done. But I just love this color so much that I just keep thinking about this polish. It looks so soft, and I don't know, when I look at it, it just looks fuzzy. It looks like something I want to reach out and touch because it's just such a gentle color, whatever that means. It makes sense in my head, I promise. But I have a couple other polishes in this same exact finish from Cirque. It's my favorite finish that they do. And it's basically just a colored base with a contrasting shimmer. And then they have a smattering of scattered hollow glitter running through it. And they always are in these kind of softer toned colors, at least the ones that I have, like Succulent Garden and Velveteen. And they just look so nice. And I want to get more of them. But when Beyond Polish sent me Catalina, I was overjoyed because it literally was the Color of the Year color. It was perfect. Cirque was already ahead of the times. They had it in the bottle all ready to go. So also, I just love the Cirque bottles. I don't know, they sound so nice when you open and close them. They have that little like clinking sound, and I like the square bottles because they fit together so well in my Helmer. So that is my top 10 list for what I have gotten just this year. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of favorites. Almost everything's a favorite just because I love everything. But I tried so hard to narrow it down. Let me know if any of my picks surprised you, and let me know some of your favorite polishes that you've acquired in the year 2022. But that is going to be it from me. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.